In this video, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of Lovable versus V0, and you're going to see which one does the better job. Let's get into it. So I'm going to give both Lovable and V0 the same prompt, which is build a job board UI with a homepage, job detail page, and apply page. So I'm going to send it on Lovable, and then I'm going to send it on V0 at the same time. So you can see they're both working side by side. On the right side is V0. We can see it's thinking and what it's doing, and now it's writing code on the right side. Lovable on the left side just gives us the indication that it's spinning up a preview and working on building the app. And it's now starting on the left side to kind of come up with a plan, which includes features, design style, and color palette. And now we can see it's coding. But you have to actually click in on the chat to actually see the code. Otherwise, you can just see that it's working. If we go over here to V0, we can see it's also writing the code, and it's by default showing you the code. So right off the bat, it looks like V0 is a little bit more targeted towards developers, whereas Lovable hides all the code by default. So it's interesting to see the difference. I'll pause the video while both of them are writing the initial code. So both just completed the first generation. Here is the Lovable version, and then on the right side, here is the V0 version. My initial impressions of this is that V0 is a little bit more basic with the design. If we go into a specific job, we can see, again, it looks pretty simple, but very nice and clean. If I click apply now, we also have a little form to fill out that it created. So overall, I think V0 did a nice job. I will also note V0 was a lot quicker. Might have finished in maybe almost a minute or 2 minutes before Lovable finished. If we go into Lovable, we can see that it spent a little bit more time customizing the design, and that's probably where that extra time went. So if we click into the design, we can see that it has a lot built out. It has different colors. This pops out, which I think is really nice. The apply button pops, which I think is really nice. Benefits. If I click apply now, it has a separate kind of application page, which is nice. And then I don't know if, it's not going to have any of the functionality because we didn't ask it to do that. We just wanted to focus on the homepage, the actual job detail page, and the application page. So my initial impression is Lovable is much better at that one prompt, also known as one shot generation, and then V0. V0 did a quicker job, but did not build it out as much. So let's follow up here. Let's say, please take this to the next level, add pops of color, and improve the UI UX further. So let's give that prompt to V0, and then I'm going to go over to Lovable, and let's see. Let's do maybe a similar thing. So we can say, please take this to the next level, add pops of color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this a little bit and say, I want to take this, and I'm going to use the chat mode. What's nice about chat mode is it's going to allow us on Lovable to actually kind of plan out what we want to build before actually building it. Whereas with V0, that's not an option. As soon as you send a message, it's going to start coding. So kind of some differences there between V0 and Lovable. So here on the left side, we can see it's reading the code of the app to come up with different ideas, which is nice. And it's taking a long time. So it's doing, from my perspective, a good job of really being thorough and looking through all the code before coming up with a suggestion. Over here on V0, it's still building and improving the page. So if I scroll down even, I can see it's continuing to write out code, and it's pretty long. It's up to over 500 lines of code. So it's quite a bit of code that it's writing here. So now if we go to the chat, it came up with quite an extensive plan of what to do to improve. So it has color palette enhancement, UI component, visual hierarchy, etc. And then if we keep going down, even more on the interactive elements, animations, and application forms. So I'm just going to go ahead and click implement this plan. So if we wanted to, we could keep going back and forth and refining the plan before having it start building. But in this case, let's just have it implement the plan. If we go back to V0, it looks like now it is editing the code even more. So I'm going to go ahead and just pause the video and get back to you once both have finished. So V0 has completed its first redesign, and I will say it did a really good job at taking this to the next level and kind of listening to what I asked for. So here we can see it added this header, it added colors, it added featured jobs overall. There's some things that like it's not great, like that's covering up the bookmark, for example. This kind of search bar isn't quite long enough, but overall it definitely improved it. It added a little CT at the bottom, which is really nice. Let's try clicking into a job. So here, again, it improved it. It added color. We can click and see different information about it. It also added reviews, which is kind of nice for the company. Job overview. And then we have a CTA here to apply. We can do it at the top or the bottom. And there we go. It has that all within the actual job page itself here, where you're applying. Okay. So now if we go back to Lovable, we can see it made its changes. The changes that Lovable made were a little bit more refined, just because it was in a better place to start. So we can see it looks like it added just some more elements here on the homepage, improved the spacing. I recognize if I click into one of the jobs, it has just a little bit more color, some more icons. Overall, I think it just made it a little bit better, a little bit of this like gradient background. One thing that's kind of interesting that I noticed the more that I use Lovable and V0 is that both of them have kind of a look to them. So like if you might recognize, not that it really matters or most people will even notice, but I do notice that about these. I think they're a little bit opinionated in how they design, which makes sense. And then if I click apply now, we can see something that I really like that Lovable did was it created this multi-step form. So we would be able to go through and go through multiple steps. So let's see if it built it out fully. If I click continue, yep, it goes on to the next step where we could go through. So really nice that it built out all of that for this mockup. Overall, I think I like Lovables a little bit more if I had to pick. I just like the design. I think it's really clean. I like that they have this 3-step application process here. And if we go over to V0, I like it as well. I just don't think it's quite as refined. I also wish that they added placeholder images the way that Lovable did. And then there's just little things like this being too small and kind of this featured tag kind of going over the bookmark. And I just think overall, I prefer the design of Lovable. But of course, you could keep going back and forth for a long time with both of these and get to a really refined point. So hopefully you found this helpful. Be sure to click on the link in our description to go to Lovable and V0 to try this on your own. Check out the link in the description for 59 AI business ideas. If you want to build your own business idea, we put together a list of 59 validated ideas for you. So definitely check that out. Subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video so you get more videos like this in the future. And leave a comment and like the video as well if there's anything you want us to go over in the future or any questions at all. Thanks so much. I will see you in the next video.